Being able to still be teachable, anything that we do is to direct people to God.
I am a pastor.
It's your heart to serve. It's understanding who Jesus is.
The smile is really good at hiding something.
Firing away here with you guys. Whatever your weakest piece could be, something brought this in about it. What is going on, Genesis Church? How you guys doing? And those that are listening on all platforms, audio platforms, I appreciate you guys tuning into Thursday Talk. We are super excited to have another episode before us, a little bit different today. I'll get right to those things with you guys. But once again, welcome to Thursday Talk. I'm excited to have you guys a part of this podcast with us. I'm not going to watch as a church. Excited to just probably so this is church. Once again, you guys can tune in as you see through Spotify. Genesis Church Orlando, as well as you can watch it on YouTube as well. So I'm excited to have that implemented as well. So I'm looking forward to into things today. Before we do, I just want to let you guys know just a little below. Questions and prayer requests. Something special for today, and so looking forward to this next week. Shortly. Really quick, this Thursday, what's this all about? Tuning in for the first time. So, first off, Thursday Talk was just originated basically to continue our continue the conversation, continue to meet as a team together as creatives, as being the creative arts pastor during a pandemic. I wanted to be in the face of our team constantly, and so every week we would get together and discuss music. We would discuss tutorials. We'll have tutorials. We'll have biblical teachings, time of worship. And so as we've done that for over a year and a half now, Pastor Tim has challenged me, our lead pastor at Genesis Church, to expand that and bring it over to the church. And so Thursday's Talk is a collective of all of that, put it together, and just having conversations with different individuals as well. So looking forward to that. We're going to continue. I promised you guys, as I did last week, I promised you we would go back into Meet Your Pastor segment. And so the Fab 5 Genesis edition, I'm really excited to just finish this off with yours truly today. We'll be interviewing. I have a special guest with us, and that is Pastor Tim Grandstaff. What's up, my man?
We need a producer correction right away.
What is going on?
That is, I'm the host today.
Yes, he is. Yes.
I'm the host. So this now becomes officially my show. And that's the whole reason I asked you to move the public, was just to get you to finally get it all going. Then I could take over.
That is true, man.
All the credit for all the hard work you've done. So.
No, Pastor Tim was like, "Hey, listen, man, you're interviewing all the pastors for this whole series.
We need to interview you, and so that way people get to know a little bit more of who you are.
Yeah.
But also, like you said, we joke around. Fab Five, it's my Backstreet Boys band, whatever we want to call ourselves. At the same time, people don't really get to know the true us. And I think that our authenticity and the transparency of how we want to live speaks volumes and can really help some people, because I think that as we've done this, those that watch and listen, they can relate to something we've all faced, and they go, hey, if they've done that, then that's how I can be encouraged or I can be strengthened to keep going. So
it's true.
It's gonna be fun.
I'm excited to have you.
I got the mic today. And you don't know every direction.
No, I don't, and I'm nervous about that, guys. And so, yeah, that's why I'm sweating profusely today. But anyways, I'm excited to have you, Pastor. You're kind of a regular now.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I could co-host if you need me to. I could. I'd have to have some limitations on when I'm allowed to speak and when I'm not.
I got you.
You know,
Yeah.
that's it. So you let me know. You ready to roll?
Yes, but before we do, I wanted to just quickly pick your brain on one thing. And so, Highlight Talks. And basically, we just finished Kickoff Sunday, which was phenomenal. And I wanted to get your thoughts on this upcoming series with Rhythms of Life.
Yeah, so new series this Sunday is something that, you always want to say, well, I'm really excited about. But I'm excited because I know there's so many people just ready to toss in the towel, throw up their hands, like they're just fit to be tied. They don't know what to do right now with their life, schedules, busyness, patterns, habits, and for us, as the pastors at this church, this is something we've been walking through since before last summer. And so this isn't something we're just going, oh, well, let us give you a few answers. This is something we've been living with for about 1.5 years ourselves, how to have healthy rhythms in our life, in our marriages, as parents, as people who work in the workforce. So that's what this series is about getting biblical answers to healthy rhythms that will change how you experience, navigate, move through all the trials, the ups and downs, the good and bad of life. So it's going to be powerful, and it's going to be things that I believe people can really take and apply immediately and see some significant change.
I'm excited for it. It's we call it a season of Rhythms of Life, and so we're kicking this thing off pretty just pivoting, going into a whole another direction in a good way. But we're having worship through the decades. We're starting with the hymns. Awesome. I think Pastor Tim is more excited about this set coming up than like any other set we've done.
Because half the songs we have looked at, you're like, what is that? So, which is awesome because we're realizing you didn't grow up in church like when we did or the way that we did, which is fantastic. So you've had different experiences. So when we're doing hymns in like 80s, and there's going to be some people that are going to show up in church and be like, what is going on? Like, this is not Genesis. But I think it's going to be not only fun, but it's going to be a great time for those who did have God do something in their life through one of these decades at a certain time. And music is something that helps you, create memories. Like there's things in life you did and you hear a song and you're like, oh, I remember that going on in my life at that time. Sure. And the same is, true for worship in church. There's certain times when God was doing things and certain songs, and maybe we'll hit one or two and someone will be like, I remember God doing that, and it'll refresh and renew them.
Dude, I mean, you triggered some people when you said worship through the decades.
We've got a lot of people giving us a lot of input.
I've gotten a lot of emails.
I dare to say you might get a bunch in Facebook today. Pick this song, sing this song.
Listen,
and they don't realize we've kind of already got it set.
Listen, I apologize if I don't get to your entire set list that you send me, but we're working. I promise you we're getting everything lined up to be.
It's been fun. It's been fun going through Spotify and trying to find some of these old songs.
Yeah, you just love to see me in the spot.
Listen, man, this is what we do. Throw you in the fire.
Let's do it, man. So today, again, guys, we are doing a Meet Your Pastor segment, and today Pastor Tim is hosting this, and he is introducing yours truly, your host, myself. And so, let's get right through
we'll start
introduction section. Okay.
Simple. Just like you've started every week.
All right.
Just for a moment, tell us, who is Johnny?
Yeah.
Johnny Sierra. Johnny Fuego.
Yeah. And by the way, there is a meaning to that nickname. My youth pastor, when I was 15, 16 years old, I came fresh from Milwaukee and just was on fire for God. And Fuego means being on fire. And he would just be like, man, there's a fire in you, man. I'm going to call you Johnny Fuego.
There you go.
And so ever since then, it has been that's been the thing. And so people always know me by that. Or I've been told, is it a middle name? So that's kind of the backstory behind that.
Is this the Johnny middle schooler with a wife beater on the balcony of the apartment complex? Is that where Fuego came from?
Dude, yeah, you're getting
Okay.
all intel, are you?
Alright.
Yeah,
All
no,
right.
yeah. Man, honestly, very simple, man. Just a follower of Jesus, I'm a servant of Christ. I've been blessed to be a husband of 13 years to my wife, and to three beautiful children. Two of them being twins, which has, really been a real amazing journey. I never thought that would be it, but that's kind of how my life has been. Just always in those never thought it would be type moments. But yeah, just a servant of Christ. I've always had a heart for Jesus since I was 15. My parents dedicated me as a baby. I played in the choir with my dad. Percussions were my first instrument I ever played. And you saw my dad preach the gospel. Most of the time I was under the benches sleeping. My mom would pinch me and tell me to wake up, but those are moments I remember, I hold on to. I wish I had video or even copies of some of those teachings he did, or even paid attention,
Right.
knowing how things would be. But again, I think those have always been rooted in me. And we talked about this when I interviewed you about the importance of having your children with you in areas where you serve and are being a part of. And I think that has kept a lasting impact for me. And so, yeah, man, just a servant of Jesus.
All right, so let's do this. Let's move to leadership.
All right.
You want to do that?
Yeah.
Talk about some leadership, but we'll piggyback off of that, because I think for people that are watching today, like there's those three kind of buckets people sit in. Like the people like, I didn't grow up in church at all. Like all this is so new to me.
Yeah.
Then there's the people like casually went here and there. And then there are people like us, like, yeah, you slept under the pew because you're in church, which people don't realize, like, getting to know you today is a testament to the fact that when the scriptures say, train up a child in the way they should go,
Yeah.
and when they grow old, they will not depart. Like, so many times as parents, we want to give up. But
true.
we don't know when that seed is going to finally take root and grow. So don't give up. Keep training, keep going. And then we have these stories where it's like, us being involved in church that much did something, and it not only did something, it called us to something.
It's true.
So, what's crazy is that people don't realize that a year and a half ago, you were working out in just the work field of the world, and you're having this battle with God. Do you want me to leave that and just surrender to you?
Yeah.
And we were praying for 2 years that God would begin to open a door for us, a role in a position. And so just kind of talk about being called by God, how you knew that, and what was taking place.
Yeah, at age, I want to say about age 15, 16, there was a pastor that prayed over me and just kind of prophesied it over my life, and that pastoral ship would be over my life somehow. And I come from a family of pastors. My dad was a pastor. My uncle's still a pastor in California. And just growing up under that. And so I don't know, I just always had ever since then, I've just seen what God has done through me in ministry, and people surrounding me confirming those things.
Did you, when you were that young, did you think the person who said that was a little weird and crazy, or were you like, it's kind of like hindsight. Now you look back and go, oh, now I recognize those things, because you get two people who go, one will say, someone prayed over me, and I knew immediately. Other people like, yeah, I wasn't so sure, but now I see.
No, it's I really held on to that, but I'll be very honest. I was very discouraged very fast when I didn't see it. Nothing happen. Just me knowing I had the opportunities to begin this ministry journey a lot more earlier in a full-time or part-time basis. Excuse me. It just wasn't coming to happen. So I doubted that a lot of the way. I just, to a point where I conflicted. I was getting very, I don't know. I was just, it was getting very tough for me to really understand that, and then understand the reality of what's really happening in my life. Like, they're just not matching up, and it's been a lot of years since this has happened. And so I just don't think it's really going to work. And so, but I kept serving, I having a title or not, that's always just been, my kids really drove me to get to the level that I needed to go to. I've already, I would say before my kids came, I was very driven by the work of ministry,
Yeah.
and hoping that my work and my accomplishment in ministry would lead me to XYZ, and it didn't. And I gave up for a little while. For 2 years, I just was like, you know what, I didn't give up church. We just still attended, but we were just kind of looking around, and I started taking on other hobbies. I felt like, you know what, like I spent all my youth doing this. I feel like I just need to explore some other things in my life. That's where, hence, the bodybuilding came into my life in a competitive way. And then Jennifer was pregnant, and I said, man, I have to cement this faith of ours. I had to step up as a man of God. Like, that's what I really wanted to be.
Yeah.
Man of God for my kids, my wife. And so it led us to where we were previously, and again, like I tried to avoid ministry at all costs, but there's a huge story behind that.
Yeah.
But God just chased me down for it.
Well, I think what you said is a testament to how I've grown to know you, but people watching, but even people that are struggling right now with like the same thing, like,
Yeah.
What is God trying to do with me? Where's God trying to take me? Like you just said, God had to take you out of this striving and this thought of I have to earn my way into a
Yeah.
lower position.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you realize I want to be a man of God, a godly husband, a godly father first,
Yeah.
which is your first ministry. And when God gets you to that point, and
Yeah.
then he begins to open up doors and
Exactly.
begins to carve away. So he was molding and shaping you the whole time. You just didn't see it.
Yeah, I had to get to a place of surrender, man.
Yes.
Like truly, like because I thought that again, my accomplishments, and that stems down to my childhood. I felt like, where did I miss the boat where my dad was just not around? And what did I do? And so that, you don't. We're reading a book called "The Thing Underneath the Thing," and it's just one of those things. Like there's layers.
Yeah.
And as I began to understand where God was peeling those layers, I began to realize, man, like a lot of what I did in ministry was really to have eyes on me so that I can get to the place that I thought I was supposed to be at. But it was just the intentions were wrong.
Right.
The mentality of it was wrong. And so once I surrendered, my kids came, and I went through a dark moment there. It was just kind of like all right, my hands are up, God, I'm doing this. I'm getting back to the heart of worship. I'm going back to the beginning, and then you'll lead the way and everything else. And that was a lot of years took place from that to about 2 years before I got in. I had to get to that place again of surrender. And so God really knows how to put a hold on me when I'm really being led in the wrong way, with the way that I go about ministry. Like he knows where to stop things and redirect me right back to where I need to be.
I'm glad you mentioned the book we're going through as a staff.
Yeah.
The Thing Beneath the Thing. Author is Steve Carter, a really good friend of mine, former teaching pastor at Willow Creek, and actually I'm in a pastor's cohort that he's a part of right now. The Thing Beneath the Thing, and it's allowing us in our own leadership to ask ourselves those tough questions, like what masks do we wear? What's the thing beneath the thing? Like people always see the surface level or the reaction, but there's something else that's probably causing it until you deal with that. And so God was doing that in your life.
Yeah.
And then God opens the door for you to become part of Genesis, which was an answer to prayer for us and a prayer that you and your wife were having to take this next step. And now you're thrust into it, and you're in this leadership role in the middle of a pandemic.
Yeah.
With your first Sunday ever leading worship for Genesis Church.
Crazy.
And that's the Sunday the doors close.
Yeah.
And no one can come in the building. And so you are only left for almost 5 months to worship through a camera with people in their houses, and you have no idea how they're responding, what's going on. So when you say like you were striving for possibly at one point a title, or it was about you and what people thought, it's like God just ripped that out
Yeah.
and said, hey, why don't you try singing in a camera, and you won't know if people are applauding, if they're joining you, if they're liking you.
Yeah.
We didn't know. There are people that, showed like, oh, this is the guy that's been leading us.
Yeah.
So what are some leadership lessons you've learned
Yeah.
by doing all that?
You have to keep, you have to be, you can't be led by external factors. Who you are has to come from your secret place. It's funny that that's the way it happened, because most of my life, when God put a hold on me and stopped, put a dead end on the road, it was moments where it was just me and him, and I had to get back to that place. And so it's funny how getting into Genesis, it was kind of the back to the origin of where this all began and who this is all about. He's stripping everything away, making everything so unorthodox that I don't even know what edge to have. Like, and so that was like, I tell you, I wouldn't change the direction of this at all.
I love that the first Sunday you led, we were getting texts and people were asking how many people were in the building.
Yeah.
And we were like, no one, it's just staff. It's COVID, it's lockdown, it's just staff. We're all social distancing. And they said, well, the guy that's leading, like, it looks like there's a bunch of people in the room. And to a testament, not to sing your glory, but the passion of what God was doing inside of you was already being evidently seen through a camera.
Pastor, that comes through my secret place.
Yeah.
Like, you can't fabricate,
Absolutely.
all of this, and so it came from a secret place with God, and there's no explanation, no edge that I had, no nothing. It just came back to the very core of who I was. This is the way that I do and how I do it, and however God's calling me to do it, that's the way that he's called me to do it. But it came from the secret place in my life. Being what you see on stage is a little bit of what I get to do on a daily basis with God. Of course, I'm not screaming at the top of my lungs and doing what I do on stage like that, but it's the way my heart is expressed to God in that intimacy is even more
I think
powerful.
for those that are watching and listening, like, the truth of what you're saying comes from not you just grew up and you were this super spiritual human being that no one can be like.
Yeah.
It was a lot of raw, real moments of wanting to give up, walk a different path, try something different, yet knowing I still got to cling to God.
Yeah.
He's still doing something in me. And by that faithfulness and your commitment to him, he has shown his faithfulness and what he wants to do with you.
Yeah.
And it's evident in how you lead your family. Answer this question for me. What is it that right now brings you the most fulfillment? Now that you stepped into this new role.
Yeah, no, there's a lot, man. But I just love seeing people get to a place of their full potential. I really do. I love to see kids like Jacob Charles, right? Given an opportunity, just like I was, to go up there and lead worship and do this, and I love to see that. I love to see my team just get to a place of pure passion for this, that it's not driven by anything else but a love for God. You can see that difference from somebody that has to be there and someone that wants to be there. Like, there's a huge difference. Been doing this for as long as I have, I can see that. And if I can see that, imagine more how much God can. But I love to see people get to that place of worship. Alexis was one that I saw from the beginning. Nick Schultz, another pastor, that we led worship together. We're able to see her grow and become what she's becoming now. And it's just the list.
And that has been like a two-edged sword for you, because that has been something that's evident in you. So there's a lot of people, like, they truly enjoy giving and investing in people, and your shepherding heart was seen immediately and it's noticed. But at the same time, a struggle you've had in learning leadership and ministry is that you can invest in people and care for people, and sometimes they just reject it and they walk away. And so you've been trying, I've grown up in ministry and I've been in full-time ministry since I was 20 years old, so I've got decades of this. And the first thing I said was like, I hope ministry doesn't jade you, because you have such a joy and a passion for it, that sometimes that rejection of other people, or the people that don't want to give or commit the way that you're giving and committing to them, has been a little bit of a struggle as a leader.
Yeah, no, it's been one of the hardest things. You just feel like, gosh, I have invested so much into an individual or this area or whatnot, and you just kind of see things kind of begin to unfold and not go the way that you thought, and it's a challenge. It really is. I'm learning through that. Because you invest so much, you believe in your people so much that you're willing to do whatever it takes. You're willing to be there by their side in whatever way that you can. And so that investment, that heart investment, is it definitely it's the biggest investment you can make in people. But you gotta learn and grow. I'm learning to grow and just trust in God that He will. Praying for those individuals that God continues to really work through their heart. It's tough to see people that you invest in, and then they just, you don't understand why they don't carry that same passion, and you just hate for things to swirl down, and so that is something I'm learning how to manage and really like let God
you
work
can't
with.
fix everybody.
Yeah, that's true, man.
You just gotta let God fix you.
It's true.
And then work through you.
Yeah.
And you can do and you can't do.
That's true.
You can lead a horse to water, but you can't force him to drink.
Yeah, that's the truth.
And those real life lessons we all learn are just magnified when you're trying to lead someone in ministry, because there's an eternal factor.
Yeah.
That's attached to it that they may be rejecting or just don't see.
Yeah.
In a year and a half, what's been your greatest moment?
Yeah.
I better be a part of this story.
Dude, I mean...
Say what you really want to say. Don't say what you think.
No. There's a couple moments. We've had some phenomenal moments of worship. In regards to worship, I will say our anniversary Sunday was special. Just to see the kids with us, just to see different dynamics, kind of multi-generational message that we're sending there. That we can do this together. That was a special moment. Christmas was another great moment for us, especially just celebrating that. A Good Friday was phenomenal. Easter season. But I think, man, one of the big moments for me was not even singing. It was speaking on the goodness of God.
There you go.
It was.
That's been the cool part. Is your passion to preach. Like, first time you preached, you came to me. I didn't put you on the schedule just because you were new.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't want to overload him. Like that can send people into like anxiety. Like, I don't speak in front of crowds. I'm not good. And I know many worship leaders that like they can lead worship, but when it comes to like preaching or teaching in the scriptures, that's not their forte. They're not comfortable. And you're like, hey, I don't want to overstep my bounds, but if you wouldn't mind letting me share, I'd love to be a part of that. And first time you did it, it was like, send him. And that just, that solidified some of our prayer that, we wanted a pastor and a shepherd, not just a good singing worship guy.
Yeah.
And so that's huge. Influences. Who are some of the biggest influences in your life? Because there's people that are watching, and maybe it's a book, podcast, speaker, your pastor, your boss that influenced you in such a way.
I mean, you guys obviously know, man. You guys carry a big part of my life. We'll always have that part, no matter where we go or what happens. And so you guys have definitely solidified yourselves. You, Chad, PJ, Will. Every season, man, in my life, I've had a different influence. When I grew up, it was my uncle William Ruiz. He's a war vet. He has one foot, because he in Vietnam, his other foot got blown up, and so I grew up, and he would use it as such a joke tactic, though. He would
They
take
can
it.
go there, but you can't.
No,
They have to be able to go there first, because
he
I know
would
that.
take it off and scare me to death and tell me like if I didn't listen to my mom for something, he would say, this is what's gonna happen to you. Your leg's gonna be gone.
Oh my gosh.
He was no joke, man. But he was a big father figure for me. I saw him about a month ago. He's battling some cancer, and so it's just going through some difficulty. But just filled me with so much wisdom that it was great. And then when I got into my 15 teens, my cousin Margarita, you met them, and Javier. They've been huge for me, and from the beginning, she led me to the church where I was for a while, and without that, I wouldn't have met my wife. I wouldn't have known so many different things that I knew, and then I had the musical influences. Manny Gonzalez was a huge, great pianist and bassist. We're a worship leader. Ish Medina was another one that just.
I have no idea who you're talking about.
No, these are friends that.
You don't say the Backstreet Boys. We're gonna
Ish sat me down and taught me piano, and and so each person just kind of believed in me and really had an influence over me. And now being with you guys, it's like huge, man. I'm like spoiled. I'm like the little brother that just gets get taken care of by the big bros, and so it's awesome. I love it, man.
All right, let's do this. Let's with everyone watching and listening, because this is where there's Johnny, the pastor, the worship leader, the guy in ministry, and then there's the people but what does he do in normal life? So let's have some fun.
Fun segment. Let's go. Let's
ready?
go. Yeah.
Just as quickly as you can.
Yeah.
Outside of ministry, what do you enjoy doing?
Watching football, man. I love football. I got my fantasy team. This year's, we're 1-0 now, so let's go.
Your fantasy team.
Fantasy, I know.
Not
bro.
your
Don't
football
bring
team. Let's clarify that right now.
It's a rough start, I
You're
promise. It's a rough start.
Okay.
It's a rough.
What people don't realize is you're one of the very few Hispanics that we've ever known that came out of Wisconsin. That was our first question. Really? From Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's random.
So you're a Packers cheesehead fan, which we will pray for you on that.
Keep me in prayer.
Before ministry, just give me one. Just give me one job you did.
Yeah. Before ministry, Winn-Dixie. Winn-Dixie started putting carts, back and forth, and then worked my way up to the prestigious shelving,
I knew we were
stocking guy.
One of my first jobs was Food Line, which is a grocery store in Virginia. I don't know if people are aware of them. But
no, nice.
Kind of same thing.
Yeah.
We're meant to be connected. All right, and then randomly, give me one thing people don't know about you.
Man, I'm a huge I got a huge sweet tooth.
You do.
Yeah.
I noticed that.
For
all the time.
Doing what I did in my back for working out.
Fitness
dude, I am
you are always eating sweets.
Dude, at heart, I'm just
And as a guy who has diabetes, I hate you.
I just love it, man. I'm a snacker at night, man. I'm just always got something all the time.
And then I look at you, I'm like, how can you eat that and stay that fit when I'm trying not to put that in my body so I can stay fit?
I could be stuffed,
and
man.
I'm like, it's a lie.
Yeah.
It's a lie that you can't eat that and be fit.
Yeah.
Because you're living an example of that.
No, it's true. It's true.
So we're going to do this. Rapid fire.
Rapid fire
all those
segment.
Still with us during their lunch break.
Which, by the way, guys, comment below. Are you staying tuned? They're very adamant about keeping this 30-minute time frame, which is great. 30 minutes, I understand.
Yeah.
But man, you guys we got to put heart into this a little bit, right?
Everybody watching right now knows our team.
And
they know PJ. And they know how long things can go. Chad probably won it out in 15 minutes.
He did want it.
He was
I started hitting him with some questions.
I can see him rocking I can't even sit here. Okay. Rapid fire. Are we ready? Just so people get to know you.
Oh, gosh.
Coffee or tea?
Tea.
No coffee.
I don't drink coffee.
Something's wrong with you.
I drink tea every Sunday morning. It's called Vocal Tea, and it helps.
I'm leaving you out. Would you rather watch a movie or read a book?
Watch a movie, man.
What type of movie?
Dang. I mean, action, but I would be lying to you if I didn't say like romantic comedies was something.
Did you really just say that?
Yeah.
Romantic comedies.
I'm digging my own grave here, bro.
Everyone watching today.
I'm digging my own grave here, man.
Wow, I don't even know if I can say that.
Ladies, you will love me for that. But listen,
Wow.
you know what? I truly, it's not that I sit there and I pick it, but my wife takes over. She says, "Let's do this," and I'm like, "You know what? Let's do it. Let's have fun."
Romantic comedies. We're gonna.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
Would you rather watch basketball, football, or baseball game?
Man, that's tough.
Be at it. Actually, let's talk about that. Be at it, not watch it.
Oh yeah, be
Which one
at
would you
it.
rather be at?
Oh man, I would say a Bucks game.
That's only because they won the championship. Outside of this year, you would not choose to be at a game.
Dude, we were listen.
No, people don't know that we were FaceTiming each other at 11:30 at night on a Saturday night before church.
They did it.
As they were winning.
And you were in a jacuzzi in Georgia.
Are you a beach guy or like a in the woods cabin guy?
Ah man, probably woods cabin guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you favorite holiday?
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Okay. Would you rather talk on the phone or text?
Text.
All right. Let's answer this question. Do you know what rom-com is?
I do not know what
You know, it's the
rom-com
new
is.
term for those who love romantic comedies. It's like the new modern term.
Oh goodness.
So anybody watching or listening who wants to buy him a shirt on Etsy today, buy him a shirt that says rom-com. And everyone will just kind of know this is
Listen, bro, I'm very similar. Listen, I'm not boasting or nothing, but a lot of David held these qualities. Listen, he was a romantic guy. Then he was a warrior. Then he was a skillful musician. Like there's you. Come on, bro.
The only time you find about David being romantic, it didn't lead to a great ending. So hold on for a second. All right. How long have you ever let your hair grow out?
This is the longest.
That ponytail, that's the longest?
Yeah, I've had braids before, but this is the longest.
That's the longest.
And I want to say that it's due to a reason.
Yeah.
But I've had it since being a pastor, and so it's just kind of one of those things. I think I'll keep it until we do a pantomime where I can play Jesus.
Oh.
Then after that day, then on Monday I'll cut it.
Never.
Which I have. I've played Jesus in my old church a couple times.
If there's video, we need this. Just like the pictures.
I can find some.
All right, and then let's do this. Favorite boy band?
Dang, man, you're gonna go there.
Yeah.
Oh, the Katinas.
Do you have like a buzzer sound effect right now? Like just one of those big X's, like that. Toss it out the window and get rid of it. No, not that. Whatever that was, just that's a rom-com right there. That was terrible. So,
The Katinas, man, I love. Do you know the Katinas? They're the Hawaiian group, the Christian Hawaiian group. That they were great. They were great. All right, listen, you're trying to put me in the corner.
That's all I wanted to know.
Backstreet Boys,
Where
NSYNC,
where you were going to come with that?
Old
Okay.
Town.
So at least you know your groups. Here's the deal. What I want people to walk away with today, other than thinking they're a complete mess, is where we're headed with this podcast.
Yes.
So just in the next 90 seconds,
Yeah.
close us out because we're done with this whole interview thing.
I got you.
You know, after we found out you like romantic comedies.
It's over.
That's all anyone will remember today.
Whatever.
Why they need to keep coming back on Thursdays and where we're headed and why we want to make this a resource for them.
Yeah. I just think, we're going to continue to segue off of Sunday's teaching a little bit, give you some snippets on what's to come, obviously, but also just diving in, like last week was a snippet of what was to come as far as just leading the way into Kickoff Sunday. We talked about Community Matters and just the importance of what that was in the early church. And I thought it was just a great segue right off of to lead you right into Kickoff Sunday. So we're definitely going to do that. I have some interviews in the future that I want to, make you to bring to the forefront, and we'll talk all things music, tech stuff. Sometimes not as much, but we'll get into some different topics and stuff like that. But I just want to continue the conversation of our previous Sunday, leading into what we're going to do moving forward. And to those that are not attending Genesis Church, for be an outlet where they can get fed as well and get some more information and just know biblical teachings under their belt that can help them through their daily life. And so obviously I gear towards a lot in the worship side, and so I'm going to favor those areas, but there'll be segments where we'll have live music, and we'll have some time of prayer and fasting and just singing. And so
Awesome.
Yeah, all the above, man. I'm excited for that.
That's it.
Yeah.
As the host, the show's over.
This show's over. I thought it was great. Thank you, guys. Give a shout out to Pastor Tim. Come on, give it up. He did great. I appreciate you, bro. This was fun. But guys, if you are interested in just continuing to follow us, if you can't join us live, obviously we're on Spotify. We are on Google Play, iTunes, and you can follow us there on all of those social media platforms. But we'll be back here next Thursday at 12 p.m. We'll be live on Facebook and YouTube, so want to make sure that you guys are aware of that. So if you want to tune in, but appreciate it. I'm excited. Any last comments, Pastor?
That's all. See you next week right here.
We'll see you guys next week. Grace.